Okay. One second, getting this champion pulled up. Alright, what's up? Cabricia here, and it's been a while. I kind of had a bit of raid fatigue a few months ago, so I haven't been putting out any videos on it. But I hit my mercy on primal shards and pulled the chicken. As you can see, his ratings are not very good. But then you look at Hell Hades' website, and they give him a 4.5 out of 5, and pretty much everything but Fire Knight and Scarab King and Dreadhorn is really high. Uh, Looking at his multipliers, his first form has a strong 3.6 on his A1, a 4.7 legendary on his A2, nothing because it's buffs on the A3. So, I mean, that doesn't look that bad. And then you go into his second form, and he's got a 4 or a 3 multiplier, depending on if the extra hit goes through or not with godlike rating, because if it does, then that's a 7 multiplier on his A1, which I do think is pretty fucking hard. And then his A2 is another AoE with a 4.5 point defense rating multiplier. And then finally his A3 is another AoE with a 4.7 defense multiplier plus 0.15 per active buff on each target, two of which are godlike ratings. Now, I don't really know what he does or his kit, and we haven't built him out yet, so that's what we're going to do is build him up and then run him through and see if he really is the worst mythical in the game, because it looks like it could kind of go either way. He looks like the damage might be there. And I know ever since they started doing mythicals, he was literally considered the worst mythical in the game. So let's look more into what his kit actually does. His A1 attacks one enemy, puts a 30% decreased speed buff for 2 turns, and when counter-attacking, the damage inflicted by the skill is based on this champion's defense and the enemy's max HP. I don't know what percentage of the max HP that does. It didn't say on the HH website. His A2 attacks all enemies, places a provoke debuff for 1 turn. If it's a boss, puts it for 2 turns instead. My mind automatically jumps to Hydra there. Also places an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn and a counter attack on them for 2 turns. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so you get unkillable and counter attack every 3 turns, plus provoking, obviously. Finally, his A3, on a 3-turn cooldown when booked, fully restores all allies' destroyed max HP. Could use that for Sand Devil. Also puts a revival and death buff and a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Then grants an extra turn. So really that goes more into play like it's on a 2-turn cooldown when booked. And that actually seems really good for Sand Devil, because that's full upkeep on revival and death. That means you will always have revival and death on everyone on your team. That's not bad in my opinion. His passive reflects 50% of the damage the champion receives back on the attacker. If the attacker is a boss, it reflects 100% of the damage received, and it also heals this champion by 50% of the damage received. And since he is a defense champion with the best defense aura in the game, in my opinion, not even my opinion, it's objectively speaking, I mean, that sounds like a really good kit. His base stats starting out is 1484. I think it might hit 1500 when I hit this final level 60. Actually, let's throw a pod in him and see. Oh, we might have enough of these, yeah. Alright. Now back to this. Okay, just short of 1498, so just barely short of hitting 1500. But depending on masteries, I haven't decided yet. We could hit over 1500 with that if we go the defensive tree. Now, let's look at his second form. GALLEUS BLOODCREST, the giant cock. I definitely see why everybody's called him that. He's pretty mean looking on his second form. I kind of like it. Another thing to make note of, he only needs, what is that, 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10. He only needs 10 books, which isn't that much in comparison to some of the other mythicals that literally take like 14, 15, 16 mythical books. So that's something that's a plus. Now, his second form kit is attacks one enemy, places an extra hit on all enemies under decreased defense. Hopefully he brings that himself. It looks like he does on the A2 by the symbol. Yeah, attacks all enemies before attacking. Keyword is before attacking. Puts a 60% decreased defense for 2 turns. This effect cannot be resisted. So you may not need to build him with accuracy if you're going for damage instead of provoking the Hydra Head. Damage increases about 10% for each enemy under decreased defense. Also steals 20% of the turn meter from each enemy. That sounds bad as fuck. Not gonna lie. He's putting the decreased defense out before attacking, and it cannot be resisted, and he's stealing turn meter. And it has decent multipliers. And then finally, oh yeah, and the cooldown. It's 3 turns. You don't need books for that one. I mean, obviously, you're missing out on 20% of its damage, like with any other mythical, if you don't book them. But, you know. His A3 attacks all enemies. Sonic Torture will ignore 20% of each target's defense if they have no buffs. It ignores block damage. Damage increases by 15% for each buff on the target, and then decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns. So if they don't have any buffs, it's ignoring 20% of their defense. But if they do have buffs, you get 15% for each buff on the target. So if you're going up against somebody like a Siffy who puts out 3 or 4 buffs on the whole party, you're going to get a 60% increase to damage right there on that alone. And the way some of these teams are going, I wouldn't put it out of the ballpark to say you get double damage against a lot of these teams in the arena. And where so much of the meta is magic affinity, the fact that he's force affinity gives him a leg up there. Like, he might be useful in the arena. And then he decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns, so kind of a buff stripper in it at the same time. The passive for that is he's immune to stun, freeze, sleep, fear, true fear, provoke, sheep, and petrify. So all CCs he's immune to. And it also randomly resets the cooldown of one of this champion's skills whenever they kill an enemy. That occurs once per skill. Now his base stats on the second form, does it even change? Okay, so the only thing that changes between first form and second form is the first form has, it looks like 20 points more of resistance, and 58 to 71, and about 13 points more crit damage. So there's not much of a difference in stats between his first and second form. I was kind of hoping for a defense increase. Either way, summed up, long story short, his second form is putting out a decreased defense. That's about it, and damage. But his first form puts out a decreased speed, a provoke, gives himself unkillable with counterattack, a revival on death, and increased defense on everyone on the team. His first form, it definitely seems like a pretty good support form. And if he puts out good enough damage, the second form could be a nuker. We're going to have to use him in practice and see what he's doing. But anyways, let's get into the masteries. I really just don't see the ratings on here. Them giving him like about a 3 average. I don't know, we'll see in a minute, but he looks like he could be a pretty good champion. I don't know if he's worth a 4.5, but higher than a 3, just going off of first impressions. I wish I knew how much damage he was actually going to deal, because that would determine if I want to go down defense or support. I don't think we really need him for provoking in Hydra, just because we have a Wixwell and plenty of other provokers. And I don't have a whole lot of force affinity nukers built up on my team, which we did just get that Sylvan Watcher's force affinity for free. But either way, no matter what, we're going that 5% crit rate, the deadly precision on the offense tree, and come on down and get Keen Strike for 10% more crit damage. I believe we have, yeah, we have enough to get all the way down to, it was a Helm Smasher, ignores defense, because ignore defense, this is additional. Considering his second form can ignore 20%, that's 45%, almost half of their defense. I think we're going to go for Helm Smasher. What does Hell Hades recommend? And first off, I wish he would show what he recommended for PvE or PvP. If we're going for damage, I think he'd be more for PvP though. So yeah, well he's recommending going for War Master, 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. I'm surprised he would say that for PvP. That doesn't really add up to me. Oh no, he does say Helm Smasher for PvP. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna go more in a PvP build. Increase speed by 6 for each enemy killed by this champion. Yeah, that's good for anything. Especially considering where I'm probably going to use him the most is in the Cursed City. Maybe some Doom Tower floors. I don't see myself using him a whole lot in Arena. Maybe Tag Arena might be able to fit him in one of those teams if he's good. Increase damage by 8% on first hit on each enemy. Or heals by 5%. Well, he does get unkillable, so that could actually keep him alive. Kind of wish I would have went for that in there instead of taking the speed 6. But whatever, too late. Now, something I don't know about Ruthless Ambush is where it says inflicted 8% for the first hit on each enemy. Is that his first hit or the party's first hit? If you know, let me know in the comments, because I really don't know, and that's kind of going to make or break my decision on that. I guess as it stands, we'll go with this just because we know he has unkillable and that I help keep himself alive a little bit so he can heal back up the damage while the unkillable is active on the character. 30% chance of decrease in cooldown to random scope of 1 turn if it exceeds 30% target's max HP. I think we'll do that because that mixed with his passive of resetting skills if he kills somebody, that could really come in clutch. Nah, since he's reviving on, well, I don't know. Opportunist, stun, sleep, fear, true fear. He don't put none of that out. He's defense, so we're not going to focus that much on HP. We might go with that. Let's come on down, though. Place a shield on the champion when it kills an enemy, except for boss minions. The value of the shield is 15% chance of champion's max HP. Possibly. What did they recommend on that? They recommend 6% in the arena by each champion killed by this champion in battle. Stacks across rounds at about 12%. Yeah, I could see why that would be good. We'll go for that one. And then, yeah, Helm Smasher. Now, I think we are going to go down the defense tree. It's easier to add accuracy through the different gear sets like Pinpoint and Feral than it is to like there's not many gear sets that give you defense like there is accuracy or attack. Everything gives you attack. There's a lot of speed, but other than deflection, resilience, and just straight defense, there's a couple of little like two-piece sets that are kind of rare and hard to come by that you could use for that. But as it stands, I think we're going to want to go down the defense tree. Damn. Quit with that shit. Okay. What's he recommending? The AoE, 5%. I mean, that looks good to me. Let's see. Then he's got remove one random debuff when they lose 25% or more of their max HP from a single enemy skill. Or heal the champion each time an enemy is healed. I kind of like taking both of those, but I can only take one. Because he can't be stunned. But there's not too many people healing outside of Arbiter teams in the arena right now, are there? Whatever. We'll go for that. Reduces damage to receives by 0.75 with each hit taken, up to 6% for each enemy. So that could stack in Hydra. Oh, no, it doesn't. Because it's, like, it's set for that one enemy. I'm not as big of a fan as that as I hear other people talking about. I've used it, I've got delay death on some people, but it's not like a personal favorite. Of course, I don't use the defense tree a whole lot to begin with. Too bad Provoke's not on that list. I would love to have Leech on this champion. I mean, if we ran him in a stun set, but that seems... Man, I don't know. I think we're gonna leave one of these slots open, and if we've got a good enough stun set, that could be a valid option for him. But I don't know. I'm thinking like a non-piece would probably be better. He is putting out a few different debuffs, so Feral might be an option as well. Even Protection, but the stats, yeah. Protection, Stone Skin, Feral, I could see a lot of different sets going good with him. We'll have to see what we have the best gear on. Increase ally resistance by 5 for each buff placed on him by the champion. Well, he is putting out a lot of buffs. What are they recommending there? Why did I read that right? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. I guess that is the best choice. That's the only one in this row that's worth a damn. Not really a fan of any of these other ones. And they recommend 50% chance to counterattack when they lose 25% of their max. He already has counterattack. Does that stack? Does he double counterattack? The only thing we're really missing or debating on is which one for this row and one more for this row. What are we looking at? Yeah, I guess we can do this and just hardcore focus on defense and try to keep our HP a little bit lower. There's the amount value to healing and shield buffs, but he doesn't do either. Wait, is that receiver gives? Receives. Maybe. Maybe. Well, since he's unkillable, or has unkillable, we may go with that one. But then again, I wouldn't mind having a bigger shield. Yeah, let's do the bigger shields. I know this is a little unconventional, but I try not to follow those guides to a T. I try to kind of come up with my own. So before any gear, we're looking at 28,782 HP, 2023 defense, 101 speed. He's got a 20% crit rate increase and 68% crit damage with 65 resistance and 40 accuracy before any gear. Okay, okay. Now, what gear sets are we thinking? I'll be glad when I get enough of these new Rebirth and Stone Cleaver sets to actually like build up a set with them. What bonuses does Feral give? Accuracy and speed. And it does block polymorph. Does he put out more buffs or debuffs? Just decreased defense. He's got decreased speed and provoke. But he is putting out unkillable, counterattack, revival, and death, and increased defense. And he's defense, so protection might not be a bad choice. Do we have any rings for it? Yes, we do. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna go protection. I guess I should have checked to see if we had any crit damage, because that's gonna kind of hurt us not having the crit damage necklace or amulet, which we do not. And we do have to have a full 9-piece set for this to get that extra damage. Either way, we can always swap it out when we get more. Oh, little HP never hurt us, but we are going to have to watch it because we don't want him to get crazy high HP because of some of the masteries we took. I think we're going to negate the accuracy banner and go for defense because I don't necessarily care about the provoke, and the decreased defense can't be resisted. And when we do book him, he's going to ignore resistance anyways. Now, what kind of boots do we got? We got a legendary boot? No. But we do have... Yeah, we do have some epic ones. Crit damage, accuracy, okay, okay. Now, we are going to be forced to have to use crit rate gauntlets, because it's not looking like we're going to be able to pull it off just on the gear substats alone. All attack? Okay. It's not a bad chess piece right there with the 60% defense, double roll, and a crit rate, though. We'll save the gauntlets for last. Who knows? We're already at, what's that, 37%? I like that. Double roll on the defense. We got crit damage boost there, though. Yeah, let's take a triple roll on crit damage. There's not too many people that I put in protection gear that I actually build to deal damage, so that'd be nice. I do wish that I had crit rate on it, but can't have every quadruple roll on crit rate there though, and it's a defensive set. Okay. If we could find a double or a triple crit rate roll, we could probably hit the 90s without the gauntlets, actually. I didn't think we'd be able to, but maybe. There's 11%. So what does that give us? 80% crit rate? If we can get a little, like, one crit rate sub roll on the gauntlets, we can probably skip the crit rate gauntlets and put on, like, crit damage or defense, actually. Surprisingly. Let's see where this gives us. I'd say we can get away with using these. Could we get crit rate roll? Hopefully, let's see. Hey, yeah, first reroll, hell yeah. Yeah, we can deal with this. That's gonna put us at 96 crit rate. I'm cool with that. And we get that extra defense from the gauntlets that we don't get to do very often. We're not that lucky most of the time. That was supposed to be 16. After we do this, we're going to run them on a nightmare campaign, monitor, do some hard mode dungeons. Let's see what he can really put out, if anything. I know that I'm being a little optimistic about him, but he seems like a decent champion. We won't know till we put him in practice, but yeah. We'll glyph it after we level it up. I don't want to run out of... We're actually probably going to have to sell some stuff to get this last piece anyways. Ew. That's horrendous. The triple roll is great, but not for this gear set. I don't like that either. I don't like it. Damn it. Alright, let's sell some gear. Shit, not that one. This one. Okay. Let's look at the stat difference. Yeah, that's better than what we had. I'll take it, I guess. Can't believe we rolled a fucking triple roll into just attack flat stat. Not very fast, though. With some glyphs, I'm sure we'll get him up to about 200, but that's not very good on speed. Luckily, he's got that counter attack to kind of make up for it. This be enough to get him up to 16, almost 2 mil. Maybe. It might cut it. Nope. We might re-roll that one anyways. I'm not really liking the way this is distributing. Damn, normally it takes it to 15 before it caps out. That didn't even get past 14. Damn, 1.7 mil and it still ain't 16. Holy shit. It's gonna break the bank. It still took another almost 700K. Damn. Let's re-roll it. Fucking attack, you gotta be kidding me. Ah. That sucks. Oh, time to sell a shit ton of more gear. I hate selling these pieces that I've already took to 16, but if I've pulled them off of a champion, I probably won't use them again on a champion. How do I get a 4-piece? Or a 4-star? Shouldn't be anything 4-star in this. $2 mil. We might be able to get away with that. But then we're going to need money for the glyphs, so let's sell a little bit more. Keep that one just since it's legendary and it is accuracy. I don't make a habit of keeping 5-stars unless they just happen to have something special, but it's pinpoint. What are them blues? Oh, Slayer. Yeah, we ought to keep those. The Slayer set's awesome. Okay. A little over 3 mil. That should be enough. Can we get some crit damage? Better than nothing. Oh. Alright, what are we looking at now? About 50k HP, not good. But a little over 5k defense, not bad. We gotta glyph that speed up to at least 200. And I'd like, ain't no way to do it. I wish I could get that crit damage up higher. This is not a very good build, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you. We'll do the best with what we can. Yeah. 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 What the fuck? Okay. Why not? Make it a little tankier. Let's get some speed on this. Ooh, nice. Got it on the first try that time. Same with that one. Wow. Don't see that very often. There we go. 12 more points. Yeah, we'll hit the 200 cap. It ain't gonna be pretty. Wait, do we even have speed on anything? Holy cow, we don't. I don't know if I can pull 6 points out of this piece or not. Okay, 7. Alright. Just barely, but we hit it. We're running out of... I don't want to use that purple glyph on this. I was kind of saving them for CBC. Ah, flat stat. We need percentages with someone as high of a defense as his base stats are. Like I said, we're not worrying about accuracy on him. Really don't want the HP because of the mastery we took. Damn it, does it just go up every time? There we go, finally. It was getting expensive. 20% more defense, take that. I'm proud of this little shield right here. I wish that was a different stat, but yeah. Triple roll on crit damage is not bad at all. Gonna be a resistant little cock. Oh no, we don't want that. Either of the other ones, not attack. Okay, why not? I just can't bring myself to put that on there. Well, I guess so, because it is a triple roll crit damage. That's good. We ain't hitting it again, though. We'll save it for CVC on that. We'll put one of these into it. 9 right out the gate. Alrighty. 16 again on the resistance, though. That's nice. Damn it, you're making me spend all my fucking chaos dust. And it's for HP, damn it. Whatever. He's got over 5k defense, that's okay. Hell, did we just hit 6k? Let's finish glyphing these out, but we might hit 6k. These glyphs are taking this build way higher than I was thinking they would. And we did hit the 202 speed, so at least, I mean, that's not fast, but where he's got counterattack, it's okay. Hitting the, no, I can't use that for a epic ring. Alright, so what are we stuck with? 60k HP, right at 6k defense. Come CBC, I'll use a couple more glyphs to make that a little better. Still shitty crit damage. 300 resistance. It's not going to do much in the arena, but Cursed City and stuff, it should help. The main thing is having that 9-piece protection to get the, was it 20, is it 15% that he'll get out of everything? 5% per each buff by the wearer. Is that per each buff by the wearer? So like on each enemy, or I mean each ally? If that's the case, he's going to get a lot. But let's just go off worst case scenario because I believe I believe that's worded wrong. I don't think it would be coded in to give you like 80% more damage with the Siffy. And again, you never know. Regardless, worst case scenario, he's putting out revival and death and increased defense on everybody. So 4, 2. We'll just have to see because if it's 2 buffs on him, that's 5, 10, 15, 20. 20% more damage on his first form. I don't think he gets anything on the second form. But we can get them buffs out. Maybe it stacks. Like, does it stay on you even when the buffs wear off? And then he gets 35% more defense, so that's going to bring him up to about 7k defense. Oh, forgot about the relic. Yeah, we gotta put that on. Well, putting that on him could make him a little bit more of a pain to get rid of. Imagine he gets, like, if they ignore unkillable, he still has this relic to reduce half of their damage down. Keep that in our mind. We may come back to that one. He doesn't get stunned or anything, so we don't need to reflect it. He provokes, but I hate to put a blue relic on a mythical champion. We could use that one to get his defense up a little more, but I think that first one that we looked at might be the best. Oh, we don't need any of that. And we're not dealing burns with him. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this one. I wonder if we got enough. Yeah, I got an idea. Let's craft some shitty relics and take that one up to rank 4. Awesome. That's kind of what we're wanting to craft is the shitty ones. Now, if we get a good one, I ain't going to complain, but, you know. What we're wanting to do is take that one up to rank 4. Got my free-to-play running in the background trying to get some masteries up. What was that one? I hadn't seen that one. Poison debuffs deal bonus damage equal to 50% of the wearer's attack? Holy cow, put that on a Kemptum. I gotta remember that one. 3 in a row. Damn. Glad to have that, but that's not what we're trying to do. Increase armor by 10% whenever an ally dies. It's not bad. Okay. Do some chimeras. I wish that you could get CVC points for crafting these. I was holding on to them for about a month, thinking that you could, and they never made it that way. That's one of my favorite ones in the game there. It gives you that crit damage. I got smoke in my eye, damn it. Oh. There's a good one to trash. Another good one to get rid of. Let's go ahead and see what we get out of this one. Nothing. Okay. Get rid of some of the blues. I'm going to hold on to the pink and legendary on these, though, because I'm still doing events for them. Rare receives 1 defense for each 15%, stacks up 75% missing HP. What would that even be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only like 5 or 6% more defense. That's not that good. I mean, every percentage helps, but it's not that great. What's this one? Grail of Agony? When enemies steal or decrease the wearer's turn meter, the wearer instead loses 2% max HP for every 1% turn meter that would have been lost or stolen. It can kill the wearer, though. Ugh. Dude, if people had that on and Armons came in, he would just straight wreck the whole team with his stun. Alright. Maybe we can get it up now. Go ahead and get our mystery shard while the shop's reset. By the way, if any I noticed that I've got well, only one now, but I've had a couple of clan invites. If anybody has like a active clan that has a Discord and a good like active group that talk to each other, I wouldn't mind changing clans. This clan I'm in just doesn't talk. They don't, and they're not like a super big clan to begin with. Okay, back to the relics. There we go. I was like, I'm tired. I don't want to have to scroll down every time. Alright, do we have enough now to upgrade it? Yep, we do. Now let's put that on him. Do we not have any squares? Any that are good? Receives 10% more healing, destroy his prefix 20% less effective against the wearer. Considering he's built for Sand Devil, that could be good, but now the arena, yeah. Wearer receives 5% less damage from single target attacks. Let's do that one. Was that the only one of them we had? It appears so. Got a lot of the unstoppable glyphs, but don't really need them for anything. Okay. Think that's about as good as we're gonna get him. What is this? Damage reduction? 10%? 10%? Is that really giving you 30% damage reduction? I'm a little confused on that. Let's try him out now. We'll open this shard real quick first. Mm. She is... I actually use her a little bit on my free-to-play, but not somebody I'm crazy about. Trash in my... yeah, it'd be trash. Okay. Let's see if he can do Minotaur by himself. What's he hitting on his A1? 36? 25? Not anything crazy. But getting his counterattacks, you never know. That's not a bad AoE on his first form, though. Almost 50k on everyone. Around that, like 48, 50. Okay, I see his use case. And then we're going to run this a second time, but do it in his second form. I like that A2, though. Well, he's only hitting about 20, 25k on his A1. But he's getting pretty consistent hits as well. Well, he hit. Oh, it's because his rage is over. If you use his A3 first, it makes his damage go up to about 30, 32, though. So I'm not like insane damage, but it's not bad either. Like, kind of mid on his first form. Let's get his counterattacks up. Oh, well, it killed everybody on the first go. Okay. What's he doing here? Attack all enemies, ignores 20% if there's no buffs. So that does about the same damage as his A2 on the first form, surprisingly. But it did randomly reset the cooldown on it, which is nice. 84 on his A2. Oh. Why would you even use his A3? Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about his A3. His A2 seems to be doing way more, and his A1 ain't bad. 50k, 37, about 90k on his A1. So if you could get counterattack on, like, someone else on your team to put counterattack on him, he could be a scary dude. Yeah, he's got a great A1 on his second form. We'll run this one more time. I just want to see what he does against the minions. Damn, I wish that would quit popping in. 128. Man, this is not bad. Why didn't that, oh, because they're not under decreased defense. Okay, I get it. 80k, or 79. He's better than people let him on. Like, he is not the worst mythical. Considering how bad this build is, like the gearing on it, he could be hitting so much harder. Especially if I were to put him in, like, a damage dealing set. So his second form is a pretty good nuker. Let's see what he does in the arena. I'm not super hopeful that he's going to hold up in this tier of arena. But let's try him out and see. Ooh. This would be a good one to try him out on, too. Is he a skinwalker? Yeah, okay. So we can put him in a bowling team. Where is my bowling? There he is. I hate to put Wukong in because then he's just gonna kinda wreck everybody. Whatever. Is that the one that strips the buffs? Yeah, okay. Man, Bolin's a great champion, though. Use that A3. Let's go into his A2. I mean, about 50k across the board isn't bad. This is a pretty crazy team we're fighting. Bullet's kind of stealing the show, though. He ain't gonna do much against Duchess because of the affinity. What did he do? 145. Poland doubled it with 311, though. Let's try a different one. Oh, we're out of arena tokens. Let's go into tag arena. We got Deacon, Sippy, Arbiter, and a Duchess. Or sorry, not a Duchess, a Trunda. Boland don't kill them all. See what he does. The Sundered Sky, let's go. Oh, killed them all. Literally one-shotted all of them. I think he did outdamage Boland on that one. So the affinity makes a difference. It's a good champion there, I believe. How did that not go? I like him. Finish this up. Let's, obviously he's going to wreck campaign mode, but we'll run him in Nightmare or Ultra, whatever the highest difficulty is, and see what he does. How quick the run is. I was not expecting him to hit like he's hitting, though. I don't know, I kind of want to run him in one more. Let's run him one more time. Ooh! Ooh! Holy shit, what just happened? Man, my demon spawn team is mean, though. Let's try this again. Maybe we won't get one-shotted before anyone even gets a turn. Okay, can we stun anyone? I do like that protected revival and death on everybody. Like, right out the gate. That is nice. Didn't really do much that time. It said that it can't be resisted. How come all these got resisted? I don't understand. He's not really doing a whole lot against this team. Like, he did help, but not like he did on that first battle. Or last battle, whatever. Maybe just bad matchups. Gotta watch out for that Siegfried. I'm trying to let it auto just so I can see how the game plays itself, but may need to go in. No, no, they got it. I don't need to manual that. I'm out of tokens there for the day too. What we got in the shop? Anything? Yeah, let's get this. And let's get the energy. Let's pull the shard and then run him in a dungeon or two. Ah. He's not a bad champion. I mean, for a rare, but not anything I would build up. Let's put it on Nightmare. Put him on the end boss by himself. Now, keep in mind, he's going to be weak affinity here, so I don't know how well this is going to play out. I mean, they have to attack me anyways. I wish that unkillable went for one more turn on that. Or I would actually trade the unkillable off entirely if that counter attack went on for 3 turns. Alright, let's see what he's going to do here. Like I said, keep in mind he's weak affinity for all these people. Hit 75k on him though. Only 20k on that. So yeah, his A3 is not that good. What's up, dude? Oh, so you don't have to use the A3 to reset a skill. Okay. Let's just auto it. Man, this ain't looking good though, I will say. When more 2 puts his peril off, it's liable to kill me. Unless I can get my unkillable up. And that revive on death is gonna not hurt anything. And that A2 on that first form though, it's pretty good. Ah, he still killed me though. I mean, that affinity matchup, there's just I don't know if there's going to be any getting around it. I do think his main case is going to be in the arena in Cursed City. We've already used all of our keys for Cursed City. Oh, and Faction Wars, obviously. But, this is probably going to be a to-be continued video. We're going to come back to him when I get him some better gear and have some keys to run him in Cursed City and Faction Wars. Whenever, probably do it on whatever day the Skinwalkers are live in Faction Wars. I think that's gonna really be like his main use case. But let's finish this out, see if he beats the dude more to macabre. I'm not too hopeful. Just because that peril is fucking scary. I put Mortu in Stone Skin, and man, he was just one-shotting entire teams, like soloing the entire arena team. Yeah, he just can't do that one. But regardless, Gallius, BLOODCREST, I think he deserves about a 4. In the arena, he may be a 4.5. Faction Wars, I'm assuming about a 4.5. Hydra, probably about a 4.5. Campaign, though, nah, not really. That's like a 2 or a 3. Iron Twins, if you're using him for damage, he could be okay, but I'm going to say a 3. Arena defense, I don't know. I don't know if how well people will get around him or not. He can do Monitor goods, and so just put a 5 there because he can whop it out pretty easy. Chimera, it says that he can do 6 of the trials by himself, according to the Hell Hades website. So I'm gonna give him probably about a 3.5, maybe a 4 in Chimera. Spotter's Den, I think he'd be great for. I don't understand that 2.7. Hard mode Spotter's Den, not as much. But regular Spotter's Den, let's see how he does in Spotter's Den actually really quick. I feel like he's gonna do decent. Put it on normal though. Not really sure why I have our bias on here. You can't extend the unkillable, but you can extend the counterattack. Dude, he's hitting like 300k across the board on the spiders. Oh, I'm sorry, 21k. Wait, is that right? Did I misread that? Let's slow that down. No, he's hitting 180k on him. 70k anyways. Feels so slow when you put it on normal speed. Look, he's not going to be speed running the spiders for you, but I do think he can do it. They don't appear to be doing much damage to him. And you have him on there with the healer. Yeah, he'll do it. I mean, the fact that he's consistently hitting for 150K on that A2, I'm a fan. And he does hit hard enough for the arena. In reality, our bias over here could probably solo this in her second form to begin with, though. Watch this end up with our bias still out damaging him with all the burns. Nah, he did double the damage. Okay. So yeah, that was him. So yeah, Galleus the Giant Chicken, I think, is a good champion. Is he the best mythical? No. But is he the worst? Fuck no. Far from it. I would put him kind of in the middle of the line. He's probably like a C plus or B minus mythical. Now aesthetics, I think he looks awesome. That crest on top of his head, that's pretty cool. There's this game Neo 2 that I've been playing lately. He would fit right in there. Anyways, like I said, when they do a Skinwalker faction, I'll probably do a follow-up video on him. Thanks for watching. I'm Kabrikian. Like and subscribe. Leave some comments if you have it. And y'all have a great day.